This is kind of interesting. So Yoel Roth has been trending for ever since these Twitter files started dropping. But this is CNN Business. Like, I'm kind of shocked that CNN is even really talking about the Twitter files because they and NBC and a bunch of the mainstream outlets, like, maybe they had one article like December 4th when it was kicking off, but they haven't really been covering the Twitter files drops very much at all. So here's an article from yesterday on CNN Business. Former top Twitter official forced to leave home due to threats amid Twitter, quote, Twitter files release. Okay, so let me guess. They're going to paint Yoel Roth like a victim who's being victimized, demonized, attacked by the evil right wing, and not just people demanding transparency and truth on a social media platform. Twitter's former head of trust and safety has fled his home due to an escalation in threats resulting from Elon Musk's campaign. Let me guess. I bet he has just multiple homes and he just went to the other one or just went on vacation. Resulting from Elon Musk's campaign of criticism against him. Wow. So they're already framing it like Elon Musk has a campaign against him. Interesting. A person familiar with the matter told CNN on Monday, "This is not a campaign of criticism. It's literally journalists posting his actual messages and the decisions that were made when he was in charge." Yoel Roth, who resigned from the social media company in November, has in recent weeks faced a storm of attacks and threats of violence following the release of the so-called Twitter files, internal Twitter communications that new owner Musk has released through journalists including Matt Taibbi and Bari Weiss. Roth's position involved him working on sensitive issues, including the suspension of then President Donald Trump's account in 2021. On Monday, Weiss posted a series of screenshots purported to show internal Twitter documents where Roth and others discussed whether to ban Trump's account, with some employees questioning if the former president's tweets violated the platform's policies. They didn't. While Musk had initially been publicly supportive of Roth, that soon changed after he left the company. Roth has since been the subject of criticism and threats following the release of the Twitter files. Let's see some of these threats. Like, are you talking about threats or are you talking about criticism? Because criticism is not a threat. However, things took a dark turn over the weekend when Musk appeared to endorse a tweet that baselessly accused Roth of being sympathetic to pedophilia, a common trope used by conspiracy theorists to attack people online. I mean, I did see some pretty kind of filthy tweets from Roth. He had like, I don't know if it was main account or second account, but it's not a stretch to say this. He was like talking about like the sexuality of kids and stuff. A person familiar with Roth's situation told CNN threats made against the former Twitter employee escalated exponentially after Musk engaged in the pedophilia conspiracy. How did he engage in it? Again, like, if you're gonna say this, you gotta have receipts. It's not the first time Roth has found himself in the public eye. Tweets posted by Roth in 2016 and 2017 that were critical of then President Trump and his supporters were later surfaced and used to argue that Roth and Twitter were biased against the president. Yeah, because he hated Trump for years. That's his motivation to censor. Among Roth's tweets was one he wrote on Election Day in 2016 that read, "I'm just saying, if we fly over those states that voted for a racist tangerine for a reason." Oh, we fly over those states that voted for a racist tangerine for a reason. Oh, what an unclever take. Twitter defended Roth at the time, saying no one person at Twitter is responsible for our policies or enforcement actions. And it's unfortunate to see individual employees targeted for company decisions. Yeah, okay. Now we found no one person. No, it just seems like, but it's a few one people. It's it's like it seems like it was him, Yoel Roth, it was Vijay. They seem like two of the most powerful people. No one person. Okay, two of you. All right. When Roll was still working at Twitter in October, Musk was asked about Roth's old tweets. "We've all made some questionable tweets, me more than most, but I want to be clear that I support Yoel. My sense is that he has high integrity and we are all entitled to our political beliefs." Why wouldn't they update it to say that a lot of evidence came out that he hated Trump's guts? Oh, because they want to make right wingers look bad and anybody who's into free speech look bad. And they want to make this Yoel guy look like a victim who's just innocently being attacked. Oh, did he say something about Yoel Roth? This is from Michael Schellenberger, who did one of the Twitter drops. Roth pushes for a permanent suspension of Matt Gaetz, even though it doesn't quite fit anywhere. It's kind of a test case for the rationale for banning Trump. I'm trying to talk Twitter's safety team into removal as a conspiracy that incites violence. Okay, this is really nuts. Have you guys been following the Twitter files? It's a lot. I can see how you're like, oh my god, that's a lot of tweets. That's I don't want to get into all that. But this is just an example of just a few people in positions of power at Twitter that made most of the censorship decisions. And when all the people in power have the exact same politics and Trump derangement syndrome, it's incredible how quickly things can escalate and get to a point where, well, I'm sure he meant this. I'm sure he was thinking what he said didn't incite any violence, but I'm sure he was thinking about it. Let's just be safe. And so it's like they did that for Trump. They did that for all these conservative personalities. Oh, what's up, K Max? Thank you for the 10. Chrissy, do you find it amazing the hive minded thinking of these social media platforms? You would think families have disagreements, yet all these people think alike. How can nobody disagree? Well, I think what happened after Trump won, the powers that be, which include the media and social media companies, they all kind of collectively got together and said, "Oh, never again. We are never letting this happen again." Trump used social media to his advantage. He was able to speak directly to the people. He understood populism. He was a breath of fresh air at the time. He really seemed like he was going to drain the swamp, build the wall, like all these things that the people have wanted for years. And people believed in him and he was able to reach people directly. And so they were like, oh, shoot, we want to make sure nobody can use social media like this again, which is why as soon as Trump got into office is when this censorship stuff really kicked up because they couldn't stand that he won and that he was in power. And they were like, I mean, they fortified, but they didn't fortify enough. So they made sure that in 2020 they fortified double time so that they could instate Biden. But it is crazy. And so over a period of years, the hiring, and think about it, like if you're in a position of power at a company and you're a hiring manager, aren't you going to hire people like you get along with, which includes people that have the same politics? So over the years, they developed a base of employees that all kind of think alike. And if everybody hates Trump, everyone's going to hate the people that are around him, that work with him, that are on his side, that promote him. So yeah, it's crazy that diversity, visual diversity is so important, but like diversity of thought doesn't seem to be a concern for these people. This I did read the other day. This thread is basically about how the people that worked at Twitter, they didn't have proof of him inciting violence, and it was a point of contention among the several of the employees. Like some of them were like, "Oh yeah, he's inciting violence," and then some people were like, "No, he's clearly not. Like look at what he's saying." And it went from look at what he's saying to them making assumptions about his intent. And they were able to make that leap because they already hated him. Yeah, I remember this. I remember when he tweeted this out because Trump was doing his best not to vilify the people that came out for January 6th. And mainstream media was trying to make it look like, oh, Trump incited violence. And that's the thing. Had the media not created the narrative of Trump is the one who made everyone march and storm the Capitol, which is false, it was a planned march point. But since the media had already created this image, it was easy for these Twitter employees to be like, well, we got to ban him because he's inciting violence. So all these elements work together. And this was his last tweet. I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. Wow. What was my favorite tweet here? Yeah, they were dissenters inside Twitter. So not everyone was on board. with banning Trump. Oh, what's pretty cool about this thread is that they show examples of other world leaders that were not suspended despite actually inciting violence. Yeah, it's pretty cool that they post all this. Yep, I'm not seeing clear or coded incitement in the Trump tweet. So there were Twitter employees trying to fight back against this, but the people in charge, like Yoel Roth and Vijay, were just too powerful. I guess ultimately it was their say. Okay, so this was interesting. Barry cited several examples of political leaders, including in Iran, Nigeria, and Ethiopia, who did kind of incite violence, but nothing really happened. This is June 2018. Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei tweeted, Israel is a malignant cancerous tumor in the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It is possible and it will happen. Twitter neither deleted the tweet nor banned the Ayatollah. In October of 2020, the former Malaysian prime minister said it was a right for Muslims to kill millions of French people. Twitter deleted his tweet for glorifying violence, but he remains on the platform. The tweet below is taken from the Wayback Machine, but he's still on it. Interesting. Muhammadu Buhari, president of Nigeria, incited violence against pro Biafra groups, those of us in the fields for 30 months who went through the war. He wrote, We'll treat them in the language they understand. Twitter deleted the tweet, but didn't ban Buhari. In October of 2021, Twitter allowed Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to call on citizens to take up arms against the Tigray region. Twitter allowed the tweet to remain up and did not ban the Prime Minister. I don't know what this says. Oh, it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible. Yeah, why not slap that on Trump? Oh, because they wanted to ban him. That's why. In February 21, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government threatened to arrest Twitter employees in India and to incarcerate them for up to 7 years after they restored hundreds of accounts that had been critical of him. Twitter did not ban Modi. Interesting. So it's like they're allowing more free speech in these other countries than in their own country. But Twitter executives did ban Trump, even though key staffers said that Trump had not incited violence, even in a coded way. Less than 90 minutes after Twitter employees had determined that Trump's tweets were not in violation, Vijay, who was Twitter's head of legal policy and trust, asked whether it could, in fact, be coded incitement to further violence. Wow. She had it out for him since the beginning. Then she made such a stretch to say that she wanted to interpret the phrase American patriots to refer to the rioters. Again, they're reading into it what they want to read into it. Wow. This chick had too much power. Members of the team came to, quote, view him as the leader of a terrorist group responsible for the violence and deaths comparable to Christchurch shooter or Hitler. And on that basis, and on the totality of his tweets, he should be deplatformed. What? There was leader of a terrorist group responsible for violence and deaths. That's wild. Only one person died at January 6th. It was Ashley Babbitt. She was shot by Capitol Police. Other guys had heart attacks. This is crazy. And almost like you can't fault the JJ for thinking this because this is the picture that the mainstream media painted, that there was all these deaths and so much violence. Oh, wow. Then they had a meeting. Jack Dorsey and Vijay answer questions about why Trump wasn't banned yet. So it's interesting, like Jack Dorsey seems not very much involved. But again, dude, you're the CEO. You really should know what's going on in your own company. This is from Hodge Twins. These radical leftist Twitter employees didn't realize they were the ones acting like Nazis when they celebrated censoring speech that they disagreed with and deplatformed people with a different opinion. From Dinesh D'Souza, basically Trump is proven right that an unelected cabal rigged the rules of the game in order to fix the outcome of the 2020 election and then shut down his ability to speak about it. The Twitter files alone are sufficient to demonstrate these two chilling points. And then this is somebody who disagrees. No, they just shut down a guy from their private platform. That's not rigging the rules of anything. Please show us the voting laws that private companies can control. Yes, but when they show that they didn't shut down the other guys who were more clearly, or you could say definitely inciting violence. It just makes them look very hypocritical, and they're enforcing the rules irregularly. Ethan Harshel, Twitter mods deliberated and concurred that Trump's tweets did not meet the standard for incitement of violence, and Twitter brass Vijay Gaddy and Yoel Roth imposed their agenda on the situation and banned Trump anyway. That is basically what happened. They just were like, yeah, fuck it. We just really want to do this. The left wing Twitter employees celebrated and were emboldened to continue their censorship crusade and apply it to misinformation. The Ministry of Truth in action. Yikes. And we never would have seen any of this concrete proof if it weren't for Elon Musk. So, even though I am critical, or like I'm a little bit nervous about the brain chip thing, Elon, so far from what I've seen from you, it's been a net positive. Yeah, this should be very concerning to everyone. And the fact that many mainstream outlets are not even covering this, they're disregarding it. They're like, it's nothing. Oh, it's just PR for Elon Musk. Wow, that's pretty concerning. This is from Rosie Hernandez. You forgot to mention this video of Trump calling out the rioters.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard and federal law enforcement to secure the building and expel the intruders. America is and must always be a nation of law and order. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. To those who engaged in the acts of violence and destruction, you do not represent our country. And to those who
Wow. Looks
broke the
like he's
law,
actively
you
condemning
will
it.
pay. We have just been through an intense election and emotions are high, but now tempers must be cooled and calm restored. We must get on with the business of America. My campaign vigorously pursued every legal avenue to contest the election results. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. In so doing, I was fighting to defend American democracy. I continue to strongly believe that we must reform our election laws to verify the identity and eligibility of all voters and to ensure faith and confidence in all future elections. Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now
Boo.
turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. This moment calls for healing and reconciliation. 2020 has been a challenging time for our people. A menacing pandemic has upended the lives of our citizens, isolated millions in their homes, damaged our economy, and claimed countless lives. Defeating this pandemic and rebuilding the greatest economy on earth will require all of us working together. It will require a renewed emphasis on the civic values of patriotism, faith, charity, community, and family. We must revitalize the sacred bonds of love and loyalty that bind us together as one national family. To the citizens of our country, serving as your president has been the honor of my lifetime.
Aw.
And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Aw.
I would-
Wasn't it nice when we had a president who would say that? This is Rosie Hernandez again. You also forgot these tweets on 1/6 where President Trump calls for our laws to be respected and for everyone to remain peaceful. Oh, yeah. They hated this because they wanted to paint him as the mastermind behind January 6th, and they couldn't do it with these tweets out. Here he is on the 6th. I'm asking for everyone at the Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Yep, it was the signals were jammed. It was hard to get to the internet. It was hard to post to the internet that day. Seems like everything was working in favor for the most amount of chaos and confusion. Interesting. What's going to happen? Probably nothing. I'm cynical. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.